In this video, I will show you how to run Flux AI in Comfy UI with no installation and without needing a powerful GPU. We are going to do that by using a website called Mimic PC, which allows us to use its own powerful GPUs through the cloud for our generations. And as a bonus, I will share with you my secret workflow which I personally use in order to get better and faster results. The first thing we have to do is to go to mimicpc.com. I will also leave the link in the description below. And now we simply have to come down here and click on Free Launch and create an account. After we created our account, we will be brought to Mimic's dashboard. Don't get overwhelmed by all the options. The simple way to navigate the dashboard is by using the Apps tab, where we can see all of the popular AI apps which we can also run through Mimic servers like Focus, RVC, Ollama Web UI, and many more. But we are interested in Flux AI, so we will simply come back to the Apps tab and click on Comfy UI, which is the interface Flux AI uses. And we are immediately brought to the Comfy UI tab. We can see here that they have all the available versions as well. Now the only thing we have to do is to click on Get Started. This opens this tab where we can customize the settings of our interface. First, we need to select the version we are going to use. I will select the latest one. Then we have the hardware option, where we can select how powerful of a GPU we want to use. We can select Medium, Large, or Large Pro. The more powerful GPU, the faster our generations will be. Also, next to each option, there is the price per hour, which determines how much will be taken of our balance per hour of use. But don't worry, there is a free plan where you can try out the service first, and then you can decide if you want to pay for it or not. It also is very cheap. 49 cents per hour is basically nothing. But that's on you to decide. I don't need super fast generation speed, so I will select the medium option. Now, down here we have the mission time, where we can select how much time we are going to be using the GPU, but we can increase it at any time, so I will leave it at 30 minutes for now. And then we have these settings, which are just for more customization. I will leave them as they currently are. And now, all we have to do is to come down here and click on Create and Start. Now we simply wait a little bit while Mimic loads our interface. I will be back with you once it is done. And boom, the interface is done loading. If you haven't used Flux AI before, you might be a little intimidated by all these boxes. But don't worry, I will explain to you exactly what they are. All these boxes are all the functions Flux AI has to enact, from starting the program to the image generation. This is called a workflow. There are many more workflows that are way more complex than this. But we will talk about those in a future video. The one we are currently using is the default one. In the default one, there really are 3 important boxes we need to pay attention to, which have the biggest impact on our final image. First, and most important, is the prompt box, where we type what we want to see in our generation. Then under the prompt box, we have the negative prompt box, where we type the thing we don't want to see in our generation, like text and watermarks. And under that is the latent box, where we can choose the dimensions and batch size of our image. We can change the width and height of our image by simply clicking on top of them and typing the dimension we want. For this example, I will change them both to 1024, which if I was using my own PC, it would increase the generation time by a lot. But with Mimic's powerful GPUs, I will barely see a difference in the generation time. Then we have the batch size, which determines how fast the generation will happen relative to the memory used. I will leave it at 1. And then we have the sampler, where all the preview functions connect together. Also here we have some additional options that aren't really that important, like the seed number, control after generation, and all the others. I will leave them as they are. And finally, these boxes showcase the final result. Alright, now that you understand how the workflow works, let's generate an image as an example. The first thing we have to do is to come right here to the prompt bar and type our prompt. I want to create an unusual image to test the capabilities of Flux AI, so I will type, create an image of a cat that is in the surface of the moon and is wearing a spacesuit on his body and in his head. Then I will come down to the negative prompt bar where we type the things we don't want to see in our generation and type deformed legs. I will also leave the image dimensions as they are. Now, in order to generate the image, we need to come up here and click on these 3 lines. This opens this tab which has all these options like save, load, and all the rest. But the one we are interested in is the Q prompt option, which when pressed, starts the image generation process. I won't even speed up the video just so you can see how fast Mimic's GPU generates the image. If that was done with my PC, it would have taken several minutes, but with Mimic it was done in 10 seconds. And boom, our image is done generating. Let's take a look at it. We can see that the cat is wearing a spacesuit while being on the surface of the moon, exactly as we wanted. But now it's time to show you a better workflow, which lowers our generation time even more and gives us better and more realistic results. I will also leave this workflow in the description, so feel free to give it a try. And boom! This is the workflow I was talking about. As you can see, there are more boxes with a lot more settings. I have personally customized the settings for the best results possible, and I will leave the link with them and the whole workflow in the description below. Feel free to check it out. Now it's time to make our generations. So we need to come to the prompt bar and type our prompt. I will type, create a dog that is sitting in a table like a human and has a big plate of food in front of him. Now we simply need to come right here and click on the Q prompt. But because I want 2 images, I will click it again. Because I want to have 2 images so I can choose the best one. And boom, both images are successfully generated. Let's take a look at them. Look, the dog is sitting on a chair and has his hands on the table just like a human would, and there is a big plate of food in front of him. Exactly as we prompted. Let's check out the other image as well. The same with this image, the dog sits like a human and has a big plate of food in front of him. Now let me show you how you can save your workflow and share it with whoever you want. First, I will download this image. Now I will simply close these tabs. And I will come up here where it says Save as Image Sharing, and click. And then we come over here and click on Yes. Here we can choose the name of our workflow. I will name it Workflow for better results. Down here we can upload an image. I will upload the image we just downloaded. Then down here is the description where we can write some things that describe our workflow. I will simply type, the settings are already ready. Then here we can also add another brief description, but I won't. So now the only thing we have to do is come right here and click on Save. Amazing. Now our workflow has been saved on Mimic PC, but in order to share it we need to come here and click on Share. Now we have to select how much time our share link will be valid for. I will select Indefinite. And down here we also have the option to add an authorization code. I will leave it off. Now we simply come down here and click on Create. And boom, our link is ready. Now everyone can access our workflow with one simple click. I will leave this link in the description below so you can also use this workflow.